guys. First of all, I hope everyone's having a good day. Second of all, this video is primarily for the new shooters, the new people getting into the sport, the people that is looking at this table and have no idea what they're looking at. They just know that there are things that go boom. Pretty much in this video, I'm going to break down most of my guns that I have, and I'm sticking to pistols only on this video from one side to the other. We're going to go in order, and I'm going to tell you why I bought them, what I like about them, what I've learned about upgrading them, the do's, the don'ts, the what ifs, the what you should do. We're going to end it off with magazines, ammo that I like to carry for defensive rounds and why, simple EDC stuff, and pretty much just try to help you guys out, make some informed decisions going forward, because there's a lot of people that are getting into firearms recently, and a lot of them, I remember when I first got into this a while ago, I was completely lost, and I learned everything the hard way with my green dollar, and I'm going to try to save you guys some green dollars. So let's get into this. I'm going to start on the left, go to the right. Full video is going to be on my YouTube. If you're already watching on YouTube, then this is the full video. I'm going to spend about, I don't know, 1 to 3 minutes tops on each gun. So let's get into it. All right, so the first one on the list is going to be my Bodyguard. Every time you pick up a firearm, even if you just set it down and you turn away and you look back at it, always clear it again. Keep your finger off the trigger. Make sure you're safe. So this is the Bodyguard 2.0 from Smith & Wesson. And the reason that I got this gun is because sometimes you don't feel like carrying, because carrying is annoying, and that's one thing you're going to learn, that you carry appendix, it's annoying. You carry 3 o'clock, it's annoying. Any way you carry, it's annoying. Nobody likes having a gun shoved in their pants. So a lot of people, especially when I first started, to keep trying to find a comfortable way. Guess what? There is no comfortable way. It's just getting used to it. So with that being said, I ended up buying this little pocket rocket. For the more experienced people out there, as long as you don't have one in the chamber, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can just throw this in your back pocket, throw it in any pocket you want, pretty much, kind of like how a lot of people do revolvers, and that's why I bought it, because when I don't feel like carrying, it's very nice to have this one. The slide serrations on this thing is beautiful. It is very easy to manipulate. It is very smooth shooting. It is a 380. I don't not recommend you guys buying a small gun with anything more than a 380, because a 9mm in this size is going to be very snappy, and I'd rather have rounds on target than more powerful rounds and missing them because the gun is just bouncing all over the place. So with that being said, this is the Bodyguard 2.0, and the thing that I loved about it and why I bought it is that even such a small package, I'm able to get all 3 fingers on the grip. It is very important that your finger fits on the grip. That's why I never bought Glock 19s. I went with 45s, because if your pinky is not on the grip, it is very hard to manipulate the gun and keep it steady during recoil. So if you're looking for a small pocket rocket, I would highly recommend this. I love it so far, and let's go on to the next one. Next one on the list is my X Macro. I love this gun for carrying. The trigger has quite a, it's like it rolls. I'm not that fond of the trigger, but on a gun that you carry, I suggest keeping things stock. One, for legal purposes, the less things they can use against you in a courtroom, and also in the heat of the moment with your adrenaline dumping, it is nice to have a heavier trigger. And if you practice with heavier triggers and then you go to a lighter one, you will set it off prematurely if you don't have enough practice, finger discipline, and control and practice time behind the trigger. Anyway, let's jump into this. This is the X Macro. I have the Holosun K series, which is the smaller one. The C series, I don't have it on here anymore. is bigger. The K series is for the smaller guns. It's a thinner profile. On this one, I have the TLR7X. Now, a lot of times you guys are going to see one that's just like this, but it says A. That means that it comes with batteries, and when they die out, you have to replace them. The X is going to come with a rechargeable battery. If you buy it on Amazon, make sure in the description it says comes with rechargeable battery, and they don't get you by sending you the X with no rechargeable battery. So keep an eye on that. It's a comped gun. I had changed it. I think it's the Rival Arms barrel that I have in here, an Icarus Precision frame. I really like this, and I stippled it. It has a nice speed ledge for you to put your thumb. Very nice gun, very ergonomic, fits your hand, 17+1 capacity. Pretty much everything you can ask for in a daily carry. I love this thing. I would highly recommend it. Last but not least, on your mags, I would recommend you getting the Radiant Arms or whatever base plate, or some type of base plate, because this is a 17+1. But if you have the stock base plate, it is very, very hard to get that 17th round in there. So I would suggest getting a base plate of some sort. And I highly recommend this gun. Great gun, great shooter. So up next, we have my little Frankenstein build. It was pretty much leftover parts from when I built this guy, and over time it just kind of kept growing. I have the new Aimpoint, the Arco the 2. The old version of this, it had very horrible battery life. I mean, just terrible. This one is actually very good. The only problem with this is that now I'm drawing a blank. Forgot the shroud or whatever it's called. It's a very big optic, very small window, but it's closed emitter. And the reason I like that is when you're carrying for duty, you get some mud or get something on here, you can easily just wipe it off. And I put the ramjet on here. The ramjet is very good. It literally, when I was shooting with the ramjet for a while and I went back to this gun without the ramjet, this thing felt like a 45. It just kicked like a mule. So the ramjet, it is worth every penny, I promise you. Stipple work, I do it all myself. The reason that I do is it gives you more grip. Why do you put the tape on, Philip? Well, I put the tape on because when I carry it, I like to have the tape so it's not rubbing against my stomach, but I have the option to take it off if needed. Suppressor height sights so I can co-witness, very important to me in case the battery dies. Same thing with the light. Timney trigger, very nice trigger, very light. Reset on it is really good, and it goes off again. I try not to carry this gun too much because, like I was talking about with aftermarket triggers, but then again, I practice with this gun and this one so much. I am used to the Timney trigger, and I wouldn't recommend someone starting off that way. In the inside of this one, I polished all the internals. I have a 13-pound spring. The reason I have the 13-pound spring is because I feel I like it better. It has a softer return as the slide is coming forward than with the heavier one, and with the heavier optic on there and the compensator, I just felt like I liked this better. When you do compensate your guns, I would recommend running 124 grain, and since a lot of the pressure is also leaving here, you have less pressure pushing the gun back to cycle, hence why I believe you should change your spring from an 18-pound, which is stock, to a 15-pound recoil spring, and you're good to go pretty much there. So this is my duty gun. Really love this thing, and make sure you get the ones with the metal feed lips, because the ones without the metal feed lips will give you malfunctions. Maybe you got lucky, but I know for a fact that I always used to have them. They came out with the Omegas, metal feed lips, never had an issue. Now here's the catch. Having the heavier base plate is very nice because reloads, the mags fall easier. These ones, you also just push this down. This slides off because we all know Glock base plates are a pain in the you-know-what to take off. So I like having these. They're like very fast to take off in case you get sand or something's going on. But now here's the kicker. If you want to rock the Omega Mags, okay, with the base plates, I do not recommend you filling it up to the full +5 capacity, because what tends to happen is the spring, okay, is gonna get jammed up, and then it's gonna pinch down and it's gonna lose its tension. So even though I wear the base plates, it's more for faster reloads and easier of cleaning, and I also like the look, but I wouldn't recommend filling it up to full capacity because you might run into issues. So there's that. Next on the list, we have the Echelon. I haven't had too much time with this one, but so far it has been great. It's the comp version. I like comp guns. As you can tell, everything that I have is comped. They're Surefire lights. I really like them. They're actually really bright and have a very, very powerful candela, and they have a very far throw to it. Also, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the outside of the light is very defined. The stream lights are usually, they start washing out towards the end. These ones have a very defined circle, as you can see. The only problem I don't like with these is the freaking buttons until you break them in, and even then, like, just trying to push them down is hard, and you just usually go straight through to the other side. So it takes a while to get used to. It's better to just go one hand down, use the thumb to bring it the other way to turn it off. They're also momentary, so you can press them and they'll turn on. Very, very, very nice light. I like the way they look. Again, I stippled this one. I did a little speed ledge on it. It kind of comes with the one, but I rounded it off a little bit more. I'm a big fan of that because I like shooting fast. Everything on this gun is stock. I do color fill in my gun sometimes, as I like doing it. If you're wondering how I did that, it's just nail polish. Put a little bit of nail polish in there. Wipe it off while it's wet with your finger to take the majority of it off. Use 100% acetone, because regular nail polish, especially that like friendly grade one, sucks. Grab a very thick rag. You don't want to use a paper towel where it's mushy and it absorbs too much of it. Something like a piece of clothing, an old shirt, and then use that and just very lightly rub it on it, and it'll leave you with a nice finish. On here I have the RMR. The old RMR is trash. It's got no buttons. This one is better, but it still has the battery on the bottom, which sucks because when it dies, you got to remove the optic, change the battery, re-zero it. But anyways, I love this gun, love the setup. I'm not knocking RMRs. They are very good optics, and I love them. I have them. This gun shoots very well. I would definitely recommend it. The trigger is very nice from factory, and it has been 100% reliable so far. So definitely a cop. This is a very good starter gun. Straight out the box, it's good to go. I like them more than the Canics, but the Canic does have a nicer trigger. But overall, I like the ergonomics and the feel of the Echelon. Highly recommend it. Oh, and be very careful when you put the base plates on. That's why people are dropping them and they're just popping loose. They're kind of tricky, but once you figure it out and you get it on the right way, it shouldn't be popping out on you. If it is, I don't know, put electrical tape on it or an issue yet. I put it on the right way, and I've dropped them straight on the concrete doing reloads. Never had an issue. So here's my Echelon, and I know this, I should have, it hasn't left my face, but I know this one was clear because I just checked it prior to making this video. Next one, the Prodigy. This gun is a dream. Very nice. It is a 2011. What is a 2011? What is a 1911? Well, 1911s are single stacked, meaning the magazine here, as you can tell, you have one round and then one round, and then they start staggering. So they're double stacked, hence why it's called a double stacked 1911. Staccato patented the name 2011, so technically you're not supposed to use it, but I don't care. As you can tell, these have very thick, heavy barrels. They're very accurate guns. I have the Underworld's Cerebrus comp on here, Underworld Arms. The Cerebrus, very nice compensator. This gun is very good. You can find them. You can even find them already comped. I would say you can get it for 1,200 bucks if you know where to look. I stippled this one. I also did a trigger job on it. I got this trigger down to about 2.5 pounds, 2.25 pounds. And the reset, very tactile, very short. TLR1, very good light. But like I was saying, it's more washed out than the other one. All right, and as you can tell, the candela is not as focused, doesn't go as far, but it is a very nice light. Only thing that sucks about this light is that the buttons are way too easy, but it does have momentary, it does have flash, but the buttons are so easy to push that sometimes they will be left open and you come next time you want to use it and you have a dead battery. Other than that, this is a phenomenal gun. Great, great, great entry to 2011s. Some people, you watch a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of people will tell you that it is more pleasant to shoot than a staccato. I don't know about that. I mean, a staccato is a staccato, but I will tell you this much. I've shot both, and I love shooting this one. The staccato has a lot better, a lot better fitment on it. The slide is a lot easier. This one is super smooth slide. The staccato is a lot easier though, and the trigger and the staccato is beautiful. But this is a SRO from Trijicon that I have there. It's a bigger optic, and the battery is on top. It's a very big window. It's more for competition use or range use, and this is a range gun, so that's why I went with this optic. It has a safety. I don't use safeties, and they're kind of in the way, and I have to relearn it every time I shoot this gun. But very nice. I would recommend it. Prodigy, definitely a great way to go. Last but not least, my baby. Timney trigger. On this one, when I had the stock slide on it, which used to be this one, when I had the stock slide, I never had issues with the Timney trigger. When I went to the L2D slide, I went with the L2D internals, and I started getting light primer strikes. To fix that, I ended up going with the uppers kit from Timney, and never had an issue again once I went with the uppers kit from Timney. On this one, I have a 15-pound spring. The other one has a 13-pound spring because I felt like it just needed it, but I'm still testing the waters to see which one I like better, 13 or 15, even though I'm leaning more to the 13 on this one, and this one is definitely 15. This gun is dialed in. Everything inside is polished. As you can see, my gun is a little dirty. You don't need to keep your guns super clean unless they are the 1911, 2011 style guns. Then you have to, because they tend not to work. But as long as you keep your guns oiled up, and you throw some oil in here, and you don't let that carbon build up dry, your gun will be fine. I've shot thousands of rounds without cleaning it and never had an issue with my Glocks. Real cool thing about this optic. Really cool thing about the Trijicon RMR. First, it is very expensive. It is, after taxes, $800 and something. But it has a bigger window than the regular RMR. Buttons on the side, battery on top, huge plus. But the cool thing about it is it has a sensor, if you can see it in the front. It's a forward-facing sensor. So just like the Holosuns, they auto-adjust, right, based off the ambient light, but this guy auto adjusts based off what you're pointing at. So if you're in a dark room, the Holosun will be very, very bright, and if you're in a dark room, the Holosun will be very, very dim, so that way the dot is not washing out your vision. But you're aiming to the sunlight outside, you're not going to see your dot. With this one, if I'm in a dark room and I'm pointing outside, it's going to adjust it based off of what it's pointing at, which is outside. It's going to be brighter, and I'll be able to see. Ramjet, like I said, this is a must-have. Man, the Ramjet is amazing. It is an amazing compensator, better than any compensator that I have ever tried. Surefire light again, Timney. I have a speed ledge on here so I can put my thumb. Stippling, same thing with the wrapping on there. I actually folded some of this into little squares and put it in the front and put it here in the back, and then I wrapped it up to kind of give it a fatter grip because I got some big mitts. Besides that, I like to keep all these little things stock. Suppressor height sights for a co-witness, and yeah, this is a phenomenal gun. And also the Ramjet is a very good and accurate barrel. I've shot 100 yards on an A-zone size target and hit them back to back. So definitely you're not losing any accuracy with this barrel. And another thing I wanted to talk about real quick, barrels. Your stock barrel that comes on the Gen 5, the Marksman barrel, is a very good barrel. Very good barrel. And if you go and buy, like, let's say a Faxon barrel because you want it to be gold, you are actually going to lose some type of performance or gain nothing. Not even worth it. There are very few barrels out on the market that are going to be better than the stock Glock Marksman barrel on the Gen 5. One of them that is better is the Wilson Combat barrel. It is thicker, and the rifling on it is very good, a very accurate barrel. There's another one that I know for a fact that is better than the Glock factory barrel, which is like a KXXM or KKXM or something like that. But yeah, man, don't upgrade barrels thinking you're actually upgrading them, because you're not, unless you go and spend some serious bread on a serious barrel. And a lot of the drop-in barrels are not really going to do nothing. When you buy a barrel, you can actually buy them to where you have to bring them to a gunsmith and have them machined to be able to use, and it's going to be a perfect fit. That's when things get better. But Wilson Combat and that other brand that I just tried to remember, they make very decent drop-in barrels that are a little bit better than the stock Glock barrel. So at this point, we done covered all of the guns, and I guess we'll talk about ammo now. So I don't think I have, oh, I do. So FMJs are full metal jackets. They're ammunition that have a full jacket on them, basically. This is actually brass kisses, 115 grain. The grain is pretty much the weight of the projectile. So this projectile weighs 115 grains. I'm assuming, I think it's the projectile or the whole bullet. I'm pretty sure it's just the projectile, but I'm not sure about that. But anyway, it is the weight. Full metal jackets are for range use pretty much. They're going to have more penetration than a hollow point. They don't go through body armor. I keep seeing people leave comments like that on YouTube. FMJs do not go through body armor. They're pretty much for range purposes, and if you're going to have some hollow points, some defensive rounds, and we'll talk about that right now. My go-to round of choice is the ultralights from Liberty Ammunition. Liberty Ammunition makes some of the best self-defense rounds that you can get on the market, and I promise you, I don't think there's any company that competes with them, but there might be some that are like on par. These are 50 grain, very, very light. And the velocity, we all know velocity is king when it comes to damage, ballistics, and all that. 2,040 feet per second. This is pretty much rifle territory. Most 9mm ammunition is going to be like 1,100, 1,200, 1,300. You got 800 more feet per second on these bad boys right here. And these things are super light. Both of these mags, filled without the base plate, just a regular Glock mag with FMJs, one mag is equal to the same weight as two of these. It is insane how light these things are. And if you want, check them out on YouTube. See the ballistics of the 9mm on the gel. Your mind will be blown. These things are insane. Pretty much as soon as they enter, it's like, I don't know, 4 inches in, they just boom, instant, insane cavity. Then they just split up. I actually have one right here. too, so you can kind of see how deep of a cavity that is. It is insane. Very, very, very nice ammunition. So pretty much, wait, I forgot one thing on the ammunition. So I promise you this, remanufactured ammo is not a bad thing unless you're getting it from some freaking meth head that is just doing it in his house garage that you don't know or don't trust. But from a reputable company like Brass Kisses, and I keep bringing up Brass Kisses because they are awesome. Remanufactured ammo, very cheap prices, very accurate, good primers. They're going to be cheaper, if not as cheap as that bullshit that you buy to go to the range. And they're going to be better. They're going to run cleaner on your gun because they're using better primers. They're going to be more accurate. So check out BrassKisses.com if you need range ammo. And like I said, duty ammo, Liberty ammunition, you can't go wrong with them. So yeah, anyway, that's the end of this video. Talked about different guns that you can get. Don't think buying a smaller gun is going to feel better carrying appendix than a bigger gun. It might be a little bit, but you're still going to feel it. It's still going to be uncomfortable. If you're a bigger guy like me, it's going to be poking your gut. The smaller you go on the spectrum, the harder it is to shoot, the less accurate you're going to be. But then again, practice makes perfect. There are some people out there that can shoot this gun as good as this gun. Well, maybe not this one, but this one. And I'm telling you, man, just go out and practice. Buy yourself a decent gun. If you only have one gun to buy, if the 19 fits your pinky, go with the 19. If your pinky doesn't fit, go with the 45 or whichever gun you choose to go with. Make sure your pinky fits on there. Like I said, this one my pinky fits, and this one my pinky fits. That is a must. But if I can only choose one, I would go with a full size, and then after a full size, I would go with a compact, and then after a compact, if I still want to buy more guns, I would go with a micro. And then just to have fun, 2011, these are very, very fun to shoot. Anyways, that's it. Video is done. Please like, share, subscribe. And if you want me to do another breakdown like this on rifles, let me know. I have a good amount of rifles for the same type of spread for every type of different situation, and I can break those down for you too. So let me know if you want me to do a rifle video. Let me know down in the comments. And I appreciate you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more.